All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. This is Mzwaki Bao TV, kawaida naitwa CPA Wandige, and of course today once again we are with Sugira. Maybe you can tell us, how have you been since the last time you were here?
I've been good. I've been good. A lot of comments on social media, a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
I've been very good, very blessed, and waking up each day with gratitude to keep fighting the big fight.
How are you taking the critics?
It's good, when I see people comment with, even abuse and so-called negative comments, it's great feedback. They're great fans. Like, I'm enjoying it. Like, sometimes they feel like I'm losing and I'm like, yo, you're taking time to comment on my content. I don't know who the hell you are. I would never even come on your page. So it's like the fact that you're coming on my page and commenting, hey, like, man, like, love. So I guess also people are getting triggered, and when people see the truth hurts. So
are African losing their identity by trying so hard to fit into modern world? Because starting from clothes, the other day someone advised you why you are putting modern clothes other than African clothes, but now that's something most of us, we are trying to live like other people. Right now I can see an outfit, someone put on an outfit maybe from US or somewhere, but now also I want that outfit, something like that.
Like, it's a natural habit for humans to want to fit in. I was even talking to someone on a podcast. He was a Greek, and even him, as a Muzungu Greek person, he changed his name to fit into, because his Greek name was, people say, how do you pronounce that? Then he had to give like Jimmy, like a very simple white name, maybe English, so he had to give that name. So even him as a Muslim is Greek, and Greek are very proud. So like, it's a natural thing for people to want to fit in. So yes, Africans, we've been kind of marketed that we're low, our names are not good enough. A lot of young Africans are scared because their name is long. Kuchua, that people are going to tease them. And so they get shy about it. And it's like, you voodoo, like, African is always seen as poor. So they've done a really good job in marketing that we're poor. So Kenyans in their mind believe that they're poor. That's why, for example, even sometimes, again, maybe you might see on the streets, it could be very dirty, is because we think we're poor. Like, we've been given such an identity that we're poor, that so of course the outside a stronger influence, and when they're stronger influence, we want to be able to see them as on top of us. And they've used that very well through religion, through marketing, through media, through many tools, for us to want to fit in with others, with already the natural instinct of humans to just always want to fit in. Like, I get an example of a Greek person.
Wow. Why do you think? Why do we Africans still believe kwamba US is the super country? Russia, the biggest countries in the world, yet we have our own countries.
Because of marketing, that's what we've been told. But also because of lack of knowledge of who we are. Like, if they are the ones who tell us what to watch, then of course, like, we always put our focus on that, so like, that's just a natural part of it. Again, it's like, we've just been marketed that, someone's coming to save us, and that's how we see the world.
But now, what's blocking us from us marketing so much to them?
Like, I'll give you an example. This is a bit off topic. I had a podcast again with this Greek person. And I said to him his name, his Greek name. And then I said, like, do you know what it means? And I said something like, most Greek, for example, they would know what their name means. He said to me, you know what? Yes, I know what my name means. And I said, what? He said, my name was named after my grandfather. And my mom always used to tell me, remember who your grandfather was. Dimi is like a warrior, someone who was a leader in the general. So remember, like, so he grew up in his life always thinking, like, remember who my grandfather is. I got to live up to my name. And that's the advantage that Muzungus had over us, is they know, that their names. Yes, you could know your grandfather, but the name, hey, this is your name. this is what it means.
Yeah.
That's an advantage because it makes you want to be proud of who you are, even though that he can even assimilate to say the other name, but still, like, no matter what, I still know my name, right? So a lot of we've been taught not to know who we are and how powerful we are, that we always at a disadvantage, that it's always someone else is the savior. That's why we have someone else's name. You know, so Muhammad is my savior, that's why I have his name. You know, John is my savior, that's why I have his name, because they're gonna save me. So if we don't think that we're gonna save ourselves with our own names, that's why we're always the consumers, that's why we're always poor. It's always someone else to come in and give us a COVID vaccine, it's always someone else to come in and give us a loan and to help us, and or me, because we have another person's name, you know, who we're saying, you know, over our own, to say, this is my name, Muchuma, this is, you know, my name, this is what it means, this is after my grandfather, you know, our ancestors fought, let's go and build.
Well, do you think Africans know their identity?
No, so that's the thing. I think we know a little bit. We can speak Swahili. Tunawongea, you know, we eat, we're part of everything, but do we know our identity? Not 100%. So I think it's more of our parents to tell us more about who our grandfathers was, what their names were, what their names meant, why they did what they did, even if they maybe didn't give good lessons, talk, you know. So I think from the parents to the young is to tell, you know, who your grandparents were, who your ancestors were, you know, their names, and how great that they were, and, you know, how you can do even better.
Now, when I was growing up, a lot of people are saying that we want to get rid of this culture because it's holding us back. So they are trying to modernize and, you know, embrace the modern culture. Now, us Africans living our own culture, did it affect us in any way?
Yeah, like, I think a lot of the cultures that we have, a lot of them don't even make sense. A lot of them don't make sense. A lot of them don't make any financial sense. You know, a lot of our culture, is it based off emotions? I don't know. So I think, for example, like, what white people did was they used to, for example, even with Christianity, they used to follow these cultures of men, or they used to follow these things. And then as they got, like, you know, more modern, they started to realize, oh, this is kind of all cap. Like, it's all bull crap. Like, then they got into more, you know, but then Africans have still stayed on that type of mindset of, for example, even things like gay or, you know, men, women, certain things that Africans are still behind, still this thing of the Bible and Christianity is still on the forefront, when these guys kind of realize that, no, that's not really what it is. You know, we have stayed behind into these cultures that don't even make sense, that usually cultures of men.
Oh, well, should our children be forced back to our culture? When they're trying to grow up or going to school, should we force them exactly maybe to learn our native languages?
Yes. So do they teach the native languages here in school?
When I was in class 1, we were taught, but now we have like Luo, Luya, Kalenjin. There were sessions in school for teaching our native languages.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's so true. Like, something I talked to my dad about, like, yes, when we went to Luyo Town, they were talking the native language, you know, so that's very true. Even to be able to, every child to even speak the native language is also very important, right? From the Luyo.
Exactly.
Luya, that's 100% right.
Now, what do you think when we embrace now our culture, our identity, our name, and maybe our language back? Can we be able to, you know, sell our language to other people? So, like right now, I always feel good when I hear a few Mzungus online, they speak Luo. You feel like, how did this guy, you know? But then now they speak in Luo fluently. Even you're surprised. How? Okay, so it feels good now. How would we feel like right now we see people in Portugal are speaking pure Swahili?
Yeah, that could be powerful, right? And that comes down to marketing. I think social media is so powerful now. Like, I could literally, like, if I want, I can program people. That's how, like, I know about social media. It's like a cheat code. Like I could literally program people. So if I want people talking in Swahili, I'd have 1,000, 2,000 clips of us putting content, entertaining content in Swahili, you know, making clips go viral, funny, you know, sayings in Swahili. Could you know, someone could release a song like something and say in Swahili, and then you have more people speaking Swahili. So yeah, we just need to be able to lift up as a nation, and yes, have that language. You getting me on a podcast with my accent talking in Swahili and making things go viral. So it's about us being really proud of who we are, our language, our names, and taking it over the world where they want to copy us, because they copy us with everything. So let them copy our names and our language.
Because when you speak Swahili with your accent, it sounds something nice. Yeah? So now, do you think us bringing back our identity to the world, how long will it take Africa to be identified? Now this is an African guy, now we are speaking the language of Africa.
How long will it take?
Yes.
It really depends. Like for me, it's more like, again, I'm going back to the names, because it's like, you know, once we take the names, that's even more important than the language, right? Because the name is the first thing we're given when we're born. So if we can take our names as soon as possible, how long does it take? I don't know. We got to change it to the young. Take our names. Imagine people walking around Jangutu, you know, just African names everywhere. Then names, languages, you know. Yes, we come and talk whatever language, but we have our names, which shows who we are. We walk into a building, you know, like no one owning us. We come from, you know, our ancestors, and being able to now have pride in our names. An Arab person has pride in an Arab name, right? Yes, he goes and speaks Arabic. Yes, speaks English, speaks German, but he has an Arabic name, and he'll never have someone else's name over that. And look at the way, you know, Middle East is developed. A white person, same thing, other nations. So how long will it take for the language? Once we get our names, then language will come with it as well.
Wow. So it's one step at a time.
But it's like, again, it's just the most important thing. The name is everything. They knew why they took away people's names, right? Even they're like, all right, cool, speak your little Swahili language, have Swahili, but you have our name. Speak Swahili, but your name is John. Your name is, you know, Daniel. Your name is Muhammad. Your name is Fahad. Your name is Mamadou. Imagine being an African person named Mamadou. Mamadou. Why would an African person be named Mamadou? You know? And I'm sure there's even names, Arab names they give just for Africans, you know? But like, you African have an Arabic name. Imagine, I'm so proud of my name that I will give it to other person, but then I'll be smart and, you know, use religion in it. You know? Imagine if Quran was written in Swahili. Imagine that. I bet you the Quran isn't written in Swahili, is it? I bet you none of the names are Swahili names. Hell no. We don't want you having Swahili. No. If we create the religion, we're going to put our names. Why would we put a Swahili name? We're going to put an Arabic name. We created it. So we have we can give you our names like Mamadou.
Wow. So now, we've won back our identity. Now everybody knows we have our own identity. We no longer use the foreign country's identity. We have our own names. All right. So now, how is that going to help us?
How's it going to help us having our own names? It gives us a sense of pride. You know, it's nothing physical that you can touch. It's not, oh, if I have my names, I'm going to go to heaven, because there's no such thing as heaven or hell. People think, oh, I'd rather have spiritual before my identity, but there's no heaven or hell. So you're just learning off a story that some man wrote in a book for you. That's what you're saying is more important than identity, another man's words. So gay. But you know, so what is our name going to do for us? I just think it's going to give us pride, right? It just give us pride into who we are, that, you know, we know ourselves. A lot of young African youth are lost in the world because they don't know who they are. No one told them that their grandfather was, you know, an empire. Your grandfather was, your name means militant leader after your grandfather. I realized Greeks, for example, Greeks are like Africans. I said, oh, even you guys, you're named after your grandparents. Even in thing. That's why he said, "Oh, a lot of me and my cousins are named Dimi." I said, "Oh, like in Luyo, I go there. His name is Otieno. His name is Otieno. His name is Otieno. Her name is Akini. Her name is Akini. Her name is Akini." Right? Same. So I'm like, oh wow, Greeks had that. I'm sure even Italians had that. You see? So where African is poor is, they were told when they were younger, hey, your name means this. You're named after your grandfather. Always remember that. We were never told that as children. Yes, I remember being told about my grandfather. I was, but I never got told the name and the meaning of the name. And I think if we can have that, we can now... Money comes into the country. I'm not going to steal this money for my own people, the tax.
True.
My name is Otieno. I'm going to do right by my people. Let's have this $1 billion. Boom, let's fix the roads. Let's boom. Because guess what? If we put money in the economy, guess what? The economy is going to circulate and come back. And the money is going to keep circle. So like, I know who I am. I'm not going to go and take half of this money and put it in my pocket and let my people starve. Right? We have all these minerals. No, look at this is who we are. No, you're Otieno, you're Akini, no, boom, let's get these minerals, boom, let's do big deals, let's bring your manufacturers. We know who we are. Our ancestors built Kenya, right? We're not going to do our land dirty like this. Boom, bring your factories here, we'll do mining, boom, look how much the economy grows. Right? Again, I honestly believe if we can be a part of this to tell Africans to take back their name, Kenya could be like Dubai.
Wow.
Look at Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways has been here potentially around since the 70s.
True.
Kenya Airways has been before Qatar Airways.
True.
Kenya Airways has been before Etihad.
True.
Kenya Airways has been before Singapore Airlines. You know, Kenya Airways has been before so many of these big airlines that we see today. But why hasn't Kenya Airways taken itself from where it's even started to even way beyond these guys? We have no identity. We have no vision. We have no insight from our forefathers that your name is Kenyatta. Your name is this. Take pride in that. Boom. Go take Kenya Airways to the very top, you know, and your name is here. We just don't have that.
Wow. So when we bring back our identity, will you be able to, to overtake the airlines you've mentioned, the likes of Qatar, the Emirates, and the rest?
Yeah, we can compete. Look at China. China in 30 years has built. Hold on. China. I want to get this.
It's okay.
China have built dozens of airports, international airports.
Wow.
In how many years? How long has China been around? Chinese know who they are. Look at the president of China. His name is not William. The president of China, his name is not William.
True.
I bet you the president of China, his name is a Chinese name.
Yes.
The president of China, his name is a Chinese name. Look how much China is a threat. Because they knew who they were. You can tease me, whatever. Zhu, Ling, Zhao. Look how many airports China has made, international airports. Kenya, how many international airports do we have? We're still even struggling to renovate one.
Sure.
We're struggling to renovate.
We are still looking for investors from outside to help us renovate
outside to help us. Outside to help us. Like the same way we look for Jesus is coming again. That's how we look for outside to help us. Look at China. Blueprint. They know themselves. The president of China, what's his name? That's how much names are so powerful. Who's the president of China?
Wow. So now, us being on top of maybe us changing our identity and of course winning back our glory and being one of the biggest countries maybe in Africa and maybe in the world, how is that going to help us?
Being the biggest country?
Yes.
I mean, it's just going to be powerful. Imagine, us being a superpower. Imagine, World Cups in Africa. Just economically, it's just going to put us in a much, much better position.
Now, China is big because maybe they are making a lot of things. Because 90% or 80% of things in this room are from China, right? Now, do you think we can be able to reach China? Do you think Kenya or Africa can make their own stuffs? They can make their own cameras. They can make their own lights, their own studio monitors, their own their own chairs which are imported.
Yeah, like I mean, if you see phones, you know, some technology here, it's built here in Africa. So we've got natural resources. Look at tea, export of tea. Like, you know, I've been working with family office and wealthy people, and even been seeing like things like tea that, you know, we have to go get it processed somewhere else, and then we still pay for that. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, we could have our own processing here. Like, so yes, things like tea, the a lot of those things can be yes, the resources, we could be so much wealthier because of the natural resources we have that they're all coming to take.
Well, I was just checking this. It says China has 76 certified international airports.
76.
Wow.
And in how long? How long has China really been like?
Well,
So 76, you could maybe say in 30, 40, 50, 40, 30 years.
50 years. They've really achieved something.
76.
Yeah. Wow. They are somewhere. That's why everybody is going to China right now. Do you think European can come to Kenya to buy things so they can use in their country the same way we are going to China? China, they have everything right now.
Well, like, you know, people are coming even here already.
Yeah,
you know, the reason why we want to make African slaves, the reason why we want to take their names, or the why their ancestors, you know, the white people and the Arabs' descendants were very, very smart. Because, like, if we can take away their names, this continent is very, very powerful. Like, they realized early when a white man came, he was like, man, bro, this place is dope. Like, you know, it's way better than my land. You know, so it's like, but if we can make these people not know who they are, we can come in here and take what, you know, what we want and really benefit ourselves. So, like this, it's already kind of happening so much. There's just so much that already people are coming and taking here because they're seeing so much opportunity. So that's what I'm saying. It was really smart for them to take away people's names, because if we can take away their names, we can control them, and then we can take what we want. So that was what the Arabs and the Europeans did very well through religion.
Wow. Now, our names, how powerful are our names?
They're so powerful, man. I talk to people every day. I say, what is your name? And then they tell me what their name means. And sometimes their name means what they're doing in life. Like, you know, like, so powerful. Again, like, I talked to this Greek guy. I was talking to this Greek guy. He knows his name and he knows the meaning of his name. And he said, that's what always kept me going through life. When I was going through setbacks, I always remembered what my grandfather's name meant. I was a militant leader. I was a soldier, like he's the, you know, Demetrios, that person, if you look up who that was, Demetrios, he was a great person in Greece, right? So like, boom, this is who I am. This is the meaning of my name, man. I'm living up to that. So that's really is that the question, the advantage? Yeah.
Wow.
Having that edge to know, live up to the meaning of your name.
Wow. Now, after we've owned back everything, do you think our name is going to take us somewhere?
Yeah. I think collectively as a people, again, if you just think about yourself as a human being, you know, you can take it wherever you want to take it, right? Like, how can I use my name and be the person in my family that took and did the most, right? When I died, I left my kids a house. I left them this. I left them this. I left them this business. I left them this company. I left them this amount of property, right? You know, and they're gonna go and they're gonna live up to the meaning of their names, right? Look at the people of Dubai. Those are ancestors. Muhammad's ancestors. Boom. His name is like, look, I helped build up Dubai. The reason why we have Dubai so big the way it is, you know, is because of us. We did this, right? You know, his name will live on. His children will know what he did for his nation, his name. Right? So that's what we're really like. How can we just make history as Africans? Every person who's watching, how can we do something so special that is going to change the world, you know, and people are going to talk about you when you're no longer here.
Wow. What are the things that Muslims don't know about their names?
African Muslims think that their Arabic names, again, a lot of them, they don't even know what the Arabic names mean. They have an Arab man's name, but they don't even know what that name means. But an Arab person knows what your name means. That's why I look at you as a slave, because your name is Fahad. You don't know what Fahad means.
Yeah.
I know what Fahad means, even though it's not in the Quran, but it's still a good, like, name. But like, that's how I lose respect for you, because you're a slave. You're a man with children, but you have another man's name and you don't even know what that name means. Right? Because if you knew what it means, you'd be like, wait a minute, why do I have this name? Right? Especially if I'm not Arabic. So what a lot of African Muslims don't know is that, they're powerful. Like, their name has meaning. They think that an African Muslim thinks his name is bad name and it doesn't have meaning. That's just because he's just learned that he's not good enough. So he'd rather, submit to another man's name and have another man's name in front of him and say, oh, I want to be named after this person who you never saw. You've been told by someone else who's written in a book that you can't even read without a translator, but you're just trusting that this name Mamadou that's a great name because it comes from this book, but that's another man who wrote it and you don't even know who that man is and you're just believing that story, right? Whether your name, you're from Guinea, you're from those countries, remove the Mamadou name, take your African name. This is what it means. Your name means spirit. Your name means warrior. Your name means, this is where you're from this tribe, right? But what the religion did really well was they said, no, they put their man-made, because that's what religion is. It's man-made, like a man did all this. This is your identity. So you're taking another man as your identity, but you think it's God, instead of just taking you and where you're from and your roots.
Wow. How about Christians?
What Christians don't know? Christians, they think that, my name is from the Bible, therefore it's a holy name. Wow. So Africans think my name is in the Bible, therefore it's a holy name. Similar to the way African baboons are also thinking my name is in the Quran, so therefore it's like it's a great name, even though that's what an Arabic person wrote. Of course he wrote that. That's what his people look like. He's going to write an Arabic person, right? Muhammad, that's going to be the person. And you take that more important than yourself. So the Christian, the same thing. He's saying, Joseph and Daniel, they're taking that like, because it's in the Bible, my name means a lot. My name has meaning. It's in the Bible. But then I ask a Christian this, an African Christian this, and I'm telling you, they just start blowing up at me. They start abusing me. And I just say, who wrote the Bible? If you ask an African Christian that person, just be like, who wrote the Bible? Say, it's a white person. It doesn't matter. There were just people who were inspired by God. And then keep asking them more questions. They were inspired by God. So they wrote the book, inspired, and their names were John, Matthew, Mark, Luke. And then they just start malfunctioning and then just start, insulting you. But I'm just like, who wrote the Bible? Because if you realize who wrote the Bible and why those names in the Bible, then you start to go, that makes sense. Because if I write something and I put my Luke James version, King James version, if I put my own versions with my names, I'm not going to put your African name, I'm going to want you to, kind of be the slave and me be the master. And that's why Africa, I always say, you guys believe in all this Christian stuff, great, like, don't get me wrong, but Africans are the most Christian people in the whole world. We're the most religious. Islam and, Christian, we're so religious. We pray the most, we go to church the most, we fill up the mosque the most, but we're the poorest. Wouldn't you think because we pray and we're so religious and we love God so much that we do this, that would be the richest? Good God would bless us the most. So why are we the poorest? When we pray and we go to church and we do all the religious things the most and we prepare to go to heaven, but we're the poorest. But all the other ones who are not so much, they're wealthy. You go to Sweden, Norway. If you go to Sweden there, I don't even think people go to church there, but the country runs like amazingly well. So that's what African Christians don't know. They just think that the white name is better. The white person, there's someone who's coming to save. So if I have someone's name, his name is more holy than my name, my African name.
What's one thing you'd want new mothers or new fathers to know about identity?
Ask them who your grandfather is, and they'll know. They're gonna want to name their kids after their grandfather. But then maybe the wife comes, maybe we should give our child a Muzungu name so he can fit in and he won't get bullied in school, and you know, so the woman has to go, you know what, no, let me name my child Njoki. Let me name, you know, our child Kamau.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful name. You know, let's market it. Let's make TikToks about it. You know, Kamau, Njoki, Akinyi, you know, make names like that. So we got to know that, you know, let's give them their grandfather's name, or not even you know, no rules, but let's give them a name, you know, that has meaning from where we are. And all Africans intrinsically know, as much as the religion stuff is there. I meet so many, you know, Kikuyus, Luas, everyone, a lot of Kenyans, when you say their name, they never complain. Right. And I say, what's your name? They say, what's the middle name? Or Ketch. And I said, do you mind if I call you that? They say, yeah. They love it. Everyone intrinsically knows this, like, it's a bit weird that we have our white names, but they just haven't thought about it so much yet because of programming.
Wow. So thank you so much, bro, for today. It's been amazing. Maybe what can you tell our fans and whoever is watching today?
Keep subscribing, keep liking, you know, follow us on all platforms. We're only going to get bigger, better, more episodes on the way. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No worries.
All right.